What is up? Welcome to the Week 16 Matchup Points live stream here at fantasypoints.com. I'm John Hansen. That is Brett Whitefield. That is Mr. Adam Caplan. We are ready to go. We are going to kick off the week tonight here. Adam, we'll start with you with injuries tonight for the Saints and Rams. Chris Olave, like we're pretty good here injury-wise here. I guess note boom for LA.
Yeah, who's been playing right tackle, but yeah, overall they're good. And yeah, the injuries should not be a factor in this game with Olave being cleared to play. So that is a good thing from coming back from his ankle. He took all his reps in their final walkthrough. It's interesting. The Saints, you would think, would have a good run defense, but I forgot that they're starting two guys who shouldn't be starting. Saunders, who came over from the Chiefs, who was a backup, and Nathan Shepard, who was a CFL player, who was a backup. A nice find for the Jets. So if you want to know why Kyron Williams is looking better than usual tonight, that is why. This is a pretty good matchup. They're a bad run defense anyway. They're getting like 130 a game.
Brett, matchup tonight that or two that kind of stands out to you. What are your thoughts here on Puka Nacua versus Cooper Kupp? It looks like the data points to it being a Kupp game. Data actually likes Tyler Higbee. I don't know if we trust him, but anything jump out at you for the Ram offense here?
Yeah, I actually like both these guys. I mean, the Saints are going to kind of play a little bit more drop back zone. If it really depends who gets more slot reps, right? So they've kind of been teetering back and forth between Kupp and Nacua. Whoever gets that Alontae Taylor matchup in coverage, that's going to who has the better game. I think it looks like we're projecting Kupp to be that guy this week. So I guess by default I'll have to go Kupp here. But I think both guys could be in for a big game. To add to Adam's point, too, about Kyron, John, the New Orleans Saints, the first 10 weeks of the season, gave up just 1.09 adjusted yards before contact per carry. The last 5 weeks, that number's up to almost 1.8. So they are, I mean, they've almost got doubly worse than they started. So,
yeah. Now, on the other side, I personally like Olave in the matchup. I know he's got the ankle. They do play a little bit of man. The cover 3 data points are good. Also like Shaheed. So I guess by association, I kind of like Derek Carr. Anything stand out matchup wise? You know, they do play a lot of zone. The Rams, they did get beat up by like Terry McLaurin last week, but they do play a lot of zone. So, you know, I think we're looking pretty good here with the zone beaters, basically Shaheed and Olave.
Yeah, for sure. And the type of zone the Rams play, too, is really favorable to both those guys, especially Olave, who's going to be lining up mostly in the slot. That Rams zone coverage is really soft. They give a lot of cushion, a lot of free access into routes. Furthermore, lately they just can't get home either. Their 4-man rush is like under a 30% pressure rate right now, which bodes really well for Carr, because that's tends to be when Carr struggles, is when that pressure's on. He kind of turns into a pumpkin. He's of the Goff Cousins variety of quarterback.
Yeah. Well, Adam, neither team really has a great pass rush, so we could see some pocket quarterbacks in the pocket this evening, nice and comfortable.
A couple things here. Tutu Atwell, not that you'd be using him, but it helps for Stafford. He's cleared out of concussion protocol, so he'll play. He didn't play last week. And Demarcus Robinson has come out of nowhere these last 3 weeks. Well, he's done so well, they took him off special teams. So that's significant. He wasn't signed to really be anything more than a 4th receiver, so that tells you kind of how much they feel that he's pretty locked in as their 3rd receiver. In fact, when Atwell started, he's actually played more reps in the last couple games they played together.
Yeah,
it's interesting. He's got value for fantasy. It's really remarkable. But this is what it's about. Week 16. If you're dying to use one of your terms, Johnny, it's not the worst start.
Yeah, then Alvin Kamara will get the checkdowns tonight. I know our guy Tom Brawley is on that one there. I kind of like Juwan Johnson. I like the prop. I laid the prop out. Yeah. It's much like Michael Mayer last week. I put it out there. Won. I wasn't like amazingly confident. I kind of liked it though. So there you go. That would be, I guess, more of a lean. Yeah, that's it. Any thoughts on Taysom Hill, Adam? Would you start him or are you bailing?
I would have bailed weeks ago. He was more than a flash for a while. He had like 4 good weeks in a row, but then he had the 2 injuries. But even before the injuries, he started to fade. It's about trust. I'm in 2 semifinal games this week. I would have to It would have to be a situation where I don't have anyone better, and I'm like, all right, I need some luck here, some upside. We know what the downside's 3 or 4 points. That's kind of what could happen here. So I wouldn't do it, but hey, if you have to, you have to.
Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Looks like we're looking at Mason Rudolph tonight for sure.
Yep.
This week, Adam.
Yep.
What is up with Najee Harris?
He's fine. It's the same injury. He's cleared. Pickett's out. He won't dress for the game. It's Rudolph. You should know this. This is good for the people who are looking for, if you're starting Jake Browning or that tight end who came out of nowhere.
Tanner Hansen.
Yep. Well, the Steelers are down 3 safeties, so that's not good. It's hard to operate without. It's just going to be hard. I don't know how they're going to do it. In fact, they had a kid they really liked, this Trent Thompson. He's out with a neck injury. He's their 3rd safety, so they're in trouble. I mean, this is not good. It's
packing up city here. Packing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're in trouble here. So. Bengals offense. Look, with Jamar Chase out with the AC joint sprain, it should be Trent Irwin who takes a lot of those reps.
Yeah, but if you are out there on the fence about starting a dude and you're like it's too close to call, well, if one of them is facing the Steelers, I'm going that way because they're. I mean, we got 3 games. So it's going to be interesting. I've never seen the Steelers like kind of pack it in, but maybe once in 40 years. It kind of feels that way, but we'll see. Minka kind of like their leader too, and he's out. So, and then Brett, matchup wise here, I mean, schematically a pretty good matchup here for Browning, perhaps because they play man. I think you could do worse than Tyler Boyd. Pittsburgh's been rough inside. Higgins, do you think we're going to get shadow treatment with Joey Porter?
Yeah, it seems that way for sure. Furthermore, like to your point about Browning, John, Pittsburgh's pressure rate is bottom of the league the last 5 weeks.
Yes, it is.
Wow, really?
6.8%, which is crazy when you have TJ Watt and Alex Smith. And
it's like 4 of their 5 worst games for pressure have come in the last 5 weeks.
It's insane. So they're not getting home. They're soft in the middle of that defense. I know Adam mentioned Tanner Hudson. Absolutely love Tanner Hudson this week. Pittsburgh struggled with athletic tight ends or tight ends that move around the formation a lot, and Tanner Hudson plays in the slot a little bit. They'll put him out wide here and there. So I think he could really take advantage of some good matchups there.
Yeah. Moving on, Bro Mixon, along for the ride. We don't know about Chase Brown. He is a little bit banged up.
He's playing. He's cleared.
Yeah.
He's cleared.
Okay. Might be a risky play, though. I mean, look, it's week 16. I don't think we need to start a guy that was dead 3 weeks ago. No one cared. All right. Well, for those Steelers otherwise, any thoughts on Mason Rudolph? I guess if you can protect Mason Rudolph, he's better than Trubisky in the pocket. I mean, that's as a pocket passer, no mobility whatsoever. But any thoughts at all, Brett, on Mason Rudolph?
Yeah, it's really hard for me to trust, especially with just the play calling the way it is. I don't know. I gotta feel like Pittsburgh's coming into this game with the mindset of running the football.
Oh, sure.
Najee Harris. I mean, Cincinnati's terrible against the run. I just, that combined with the back, I guess the 3rd string quarterback now, it just seems like that would be the obvious play is just to try to run the ball, get the ball quickly, screens. Cincinnati's been okay rushing the passer this year, although since Hendrickson got hurt 6 weeks ago now, that's their pressure rate's kind of fallen off a cliff. So
if you're desperate, Pat Freiermuth has got a pristine matchup here. But yeah, Bengals, we saw what Todd Chandler did last week. I mean, a guy like Jalen Warren could do very well in this game. Anything else here, Adam? Do you have anything on Mason Rudolph? No, I guess not.
Yeah, he's a touch passer. He doesn't drive the football, but he doesn't have Trubisky's mobility. Yeah. But the word from coaches is he processes better.
Yep.
So that will give at least the pass targets a chance, which is all you're looking for. Now we do need it. Pickens, John. I don't think they'll bench him, but it's turned into be a train wreck. This is the issue. Believe it or not, the ACL reconstruction had nothing to do with him not going the first round. It's all about maturity, and you're really seeing it. He's not at he's not at the level of Chase Claypool. We're not there yet, but we're getting close.
He's one of those guys, I think, that what makes him great can hurt him at times. Like, he just gets so bombastic and, like, energetic, I guess. And,
but he's not being a good teammate right now. He needs to do a better job.
Selfish, I'm sure. Yeah. Pouting, unhappy.
But the problem is it's not, it takes away from your success. Look,
he had that walk-off touchdown that actually beat me in our league, by the way. It was like a 70-yarder. Remember that game on Monday Night Football, like week 5?
Okay.
I saw the writing on the wall, and I was like, sell. Goodbye, sell.
Yeah.
Because there were rumblings of it before, because, they got off to such a nasty start. Let's move on here on the Week 16 Matchup Points live stream at fantasypoints.com. Bills at the Chargers. Bunch of dudes for the Chargers. I guess, like, Bosa is not playing, is he?
No, he's on IR. He just started practicing. He's
Keenan
not playing.
Allen ruled out.
He's out with a heel injury. It's
Michael
a shame.
Hyde ruled out.
Who's that?
Michael Hyde.
Yeah, Hyde's out with a neck stinger. It's a shame he's had this problem. I would say for this game, couple things. Josh Palmer came through last week's game well. He played 72% of snaps, so he should play a ton. Look good. I know it's not a great matchup, but if you're having to use him, you have to think there's hope here.
Yeah, he's the one, as far as I'm concerned.
Pretty much. Quinn Johnson, John, is not look good.
Nah.
John Stanton.
I wasn't into Quentin Johnson. Definitely for this year, that's for sure. Gave him a chance. I mean, I'm certainly giving him a chance. He's got a lot of tools to work with there, but yeah, I did not get a good feeling there. Question though is, like, I don't know how much Josh Allen is going to have to do as they transition, into a running team. Brett, is that fair to say the identity of the Bills right now is James Cook?
Yeah, I don't know that I'll go that far, John, but I will say that Cook is playing at a level now where if they need to do that in a game, they can do that. They can just sit back and punch you in the mouth over and over and over again. But even in the past game, Cook has been a really nice alternative option for them that they haven't really. Allen's never really been a check down quarterback, so it's nice to have you can trust there. And but yeah, with the Chargers, the way their pressure's been, with Bosa going on IR, I think it could be a fine mix of run pass for the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Gabe Davis doing well. It's a good schematic matchup, but he's Goose Egg Gabe now, as I nicknamed him. But as bad as it's been for Gabe, the production has dropped off just as much for Diggs. Like, Diggs was getting you 19 a game, and now he's getting you 6.
Yeah.
Gabe was getting you 11 a game, and now he's goose egg in your ass. So it's pretty close. It's all relative. Gabe was getting 2-3 grabs a game, now he gets 0. Diggs was getting 8-9, now he gets 5-6. Maybe it is just week to week, but again, I don't think they're going to have to do all that much here against the Chargers. Not the greatest schematic matchup. No Keenan Allen. Are either of you inclined at all to even consider Austin Eckler, or are we just turning the page? Adam, are you just turning the page, right?
Well, if I have him, I'm using him. I mean, he was my first round pick, so I
don't know about that.
Well, let me ask you this: who are you gonna have is better? That's the next level.
Well, number one, you could have picked up Kyron Williams and Jalen Warren.
No, I'm talking about now. No, I'm talking about now. You mean in a redraft? If you're in the semifinals, who do you have is going to be better than Eckler? That's my point.
Kyron Williams.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Okay. To answer your question, if it came down to who would I start? Absolutely. Kyron Williams. First, the matchup is beautiful by the numbers.
Zeke Elliott this week. Zeke Elliott.
That's another story for another time. I would not use Zeke, but that's.
Yeah, but I mean, Brett, what do you think? I mean, Eckler looks. This is really bad.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I think it's being overblown a little bit because of the one run he had where he looked like he was a corpse. I also don't think Buffalo's their run defense hasn't actually been that good.
Well, Denver's has been terrible. That's why I mentioned Zeke. But
yeah.
Now here I'll throw this out. So I saw a clip today of Eckler. Adam, I'll ask you.
Okay.
There's Matt Harmon from Yahoo does a podcast with him, right?
Okay.
So yeah. And he asked him about playing football next year, and Eckler actually said, basically as long as I'm not treated like an undrafted bargain basement free agent, like it's almost like his expectations for himself next year going forward are really minimized. But I mean, does that do anything for you? Like he's talking next year, bottom level free agent.
I mean, he's a specialist. That's what he's
right.
At this point in his career. 29, he turns 29, I think, 28, 29. He's now a specialist. He's a third down specialist.
So you're starting an old, washed up specialist this week.
Well, look, he's always capable, but it just has not worked out. They're a nightmare. The Chargers are just absolutely brutal.
I mean, we've got him at 31 this week. I actually think that's somewhat charitable. All right. Wasted some time there. Not the best matchup for Palmer, but use him if you need him. Everett is same deal, though not the best matchup for Everett. And then bad matchup for those Bills tight ends too, and they're kind of canceling each other out. Colts at Falcons. Adam, I assume it's a little bit of a formality at this point with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he'll get cleared. Zach Moss, second forearm injury, he may not get cleared. Sermon will back up JT if Moss is not cleared. Michael Pittman, this is now a couple things with Pittman. In addition to the concussion, they added the shoulder to the injury report, but he took all his reps today. He's on his way to getting cleared. He should get cleared tomorrow after practice. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay. Matchup wise, it is a plus matchup here for Minshew. Don't think we're trusting the other receivers, of course. Pittman, if he goes, for sure. We don't like Drake London opportunity wise and schematically. Adam, back to you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
People are wondering, do they just bail on Bijan? Any thoughts here? I'm kind of
I can't do that. I couldn't.
You're gonna go with him?
Yeah, it's always. I ask this question to you: Who better do you have at this point to not start him?
Well, Bijan or Breece Hall? I think didn't we get that on the radio?
Well, the Breece Hall matchup. I mean, it's phenomenal. The safest one, okay. If I'm looking for 12 to 14 points, without a doubt, it's Breece Hall. If I need the upside, like for instance, I have one of my two semifinal games, I might start Jameson Williams over whoever my flex is going to be because I know that I need upside or I need upside. I'm probably going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I will say, as we noted in our game hub here, Bijan did get 15 plus touches and 80 yards and 4 straight before last week. So I do think we'll get a little bit of some sort of a correction here, and maybe the weather will be better. Well, it definitely will be because it's in Atlanta. Anything stand out to you, Brett, about this matchup? I will say, I think for me, other than Jonathan Taylor, the most intriguing thing is maybe a Kyle Pitts game.
Yeah, I like Pitts. I actually do like Bijan in this matchup. I wanted to let you guys finish your
good
discussion there. The Colts, they have not fit runs well at all the last 2 months of the season. It's been really bad. The last 5 weeks, they're giving up 192 adjusted yards before contact. I mean, but when you put on the tape, there's a lot of MAs. I'm not really sure what's going on because they started the season very good against the run. And then it's kind of slowly tapered off. We've talked about it before. It's like them in Tennessee swaps places or something. Really, really strange. But the tape is really not good. They're getting gashed. They're giving up a lot of 10, 15-yard run type stuff.
Better last week, though.
A little better last week. But Bijan can take those 10-yard runs and turn them into 50-yard runs, and I think that gives him, like Adam said, a good amount of upside in this game.
I'm with you guys. I mean, we've got him at 13. It is a tough guy. He's a tough guy to rank, but most people are starting the 13th ranked running back as their RB2. You drafted him as a 1, you move his ass down your depth board. Now he's your 2. Maybe he's your 3. That would be one hell of a 3. For Indy, not the best matchup for Taylor, though Chuba Hubbard did get it done last week in this matchup, as we mentioned. Moving on to Green Bay, Carolina. Injury-wise here, Adam, looks like A.J. Dillon is back.
He's not back yet. He ain't been cleared yet. No, he's starting to work, but he's not cleared yet. We'll know tomorrow. Jaden Reed's got 2 injuries. He's nursing. He's definitely a true questionable. Watson, forget about it. Oh, this is big. Luke Musgrave, he might get cleared tomorrow.
Didn't Watson do something today or
No,
okay.
not practice. He might have done something on the side. Musgrave might get cleared. He's got a so we found out what it was. It was the kidney. They said abdomen. It's actually his kidney. And he started working today. Yeah. Luke Musgrave. So Luke Musgrave could be activated. We'll learn more tomorrow.
And that would be a problem because I really like Tucker Kraft as a sleeper.
Ah, okay. All right.
Good schematic matchup for Tucker Kraft, who's doing pretty darn well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would lean right now toward no Watson and probably no Reed? Or?
I mean, Watson hasn't practiced in nearly 3 weeks, so I'd be shocked if Watson played. Reed, I don't know yet. Don't know. We'll find out more tomorrow.
Well, we can use Dontavian Wicks.
Yeah,
man, he's good. Anything jump out to you on this matchup? I know you do like Adam Thielen this week.
I do. I love Adam Thielen this week. If you guys watched the Tampa Bay Green Bay game last week, you saw what's been happening to Green Bay over and over this year, which is they cannot cover the middle of the field, whether that's tight ends or shifty slot receivers that can run routes. Chris Godwin absolutely annihilated them all game long and pretty much allowed Baker Mayfield to probably have his best game as a pro quarterback, which, is pretty crazy. He's in year 5 or 6. So Baker looked awesome, but it was mostly that soft Green Bay middle, Quay Walker, Devondre Campbell. These guys are being asked to do a lot in coverage.
Oh, Campbell, real quick. Campbell probably won't play.
Okay.
Probably won't play. The neck injury.
Yeah.
Good.
So I love, I really do love Adam Thielen in this matchup.
I just don't know how much Jordan Love. Let me change. My back is killing me. I didn't know how much I don't know how much Jordan Love's going to have to throw here, obviously, but that's probably some over analysis. But the Panther D is pretty good, Brett. Right? I mean, what about this matchup?
For the amount of snaps they have to play, they're very good. It's actually kind of crazy. If that offense could be just a little bit better, I think that defense would even get better. So. Matchup wise, I don't know. I thought Aaron Jones looked really good last week, actually.
Yeah.
You saw some explosiveness, some wiggle, ability to make guys miss. He was winning the edge pretty consistently, though, in that outside zone / power scheme they use with him. So I really liked what I saw from Aaron Jones. From a wide receiver cornerback standpoint, I mean, I like Dubs' matchup against Dante Jackson. I like Dontavian Wicks. Horn is, their number 1, but he has not been good since he's been back or when he's played. So
your boy Dante Jackson, I believe, has been pretty good this year, though.
He's been a little stingy, but he is an undersized. He's like a 180-pound corner, and Dubs is just a physical nightmare.
Yeah.
So I think it's a skill set wise. I think it's a really good matchup for Dubs.
I mean, he's probably a free agent, Dante Jackson. Adam, is he a free agent?
No, he's signed through next year.
Oh, okay. I was going to say he's balling this year. He's probably a free agent. Okay. But he's not. Bryce Young is not balling, so we're going to move on. We can use Adam Thielen, though. Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans, Adam, and once again, not looking good for CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Not looking great for Nico Collins as well. What else?
Collins with the calf. I mean, she's just had to get through practice. Will Anderson likely won't get cleared, so this will be the second straight game. But now for Cleveland, down 3 safeties, and Bitonio now has got a bad back. He might not play. So their line, I got to give and obviously Flacco deserves a lot of credit for this. Their line's all sorts of banged up. They're playing guys who they'd rather not play, but they're finding a way to win. Here's a cool thing, though. If you've got Amari Cooper or their pass targets, you don't have to worry about weather for the first time in a while. So that is important because, man, they've had crappy weather they've played in for several weeks, and this one's in Houston.
You think Nico will go, though? I guess he's trending that way, I guess.
Yeah. He's doing okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, does that change anything, for Noah Brown, Brett? I mean, Noah Brown is not really the X receiver anyway. I bet you he can play everything. Any thoughts on what you saw to Case Keenum this week and, their prospects? Not the best matchup. Cleveland or Houston has been, stingier against the run, but I guess they're weaker nowadays against the pass, but they still have some good personnel back there.
Yeah, this game in general is making me a little nauseous. I think it could be a really low point total here. I mean, Houston's run defense is excellent. That's where Cleveland wants to start their offense. Cleveland's defense is obviously phenomenal. Backup quarterbacks playing. It's just kind of gross all the way around. I will say the Noah Brown, Nico Collins thing. I think it helps Nico actually that Noah's playing well.
Yeah.
Noah's been really good downfield for them too, like surprisingly good as a downfield threat.
Yeah.
That helps Nico because he dominates the intermediate part of the field. So he wants to be in control over the middle of the field, 10 to 20 yards. Those are his windows he lives in. So if he's got a good downfield threat next to him, that's just going to make him a little bit more.
And John, if Nico doesn't play, they'll it's a calf injury, but this is the most he's done in practice since he got hurt. If he doesn't play, I agree with Brett. It is this has got like 13 written all over it, something like that.
Yeah, I will say the Browns have been hit by tight ends lately. So if you are desperate, Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet and Evan Ingram have gotten them pretty good. Brett, I know you have some things to say about Devin Singletary, but my man is rolling with like a 75% snap share these days. So he's the guy, right?
Yeah, he's the guy. This was the first week, I think, in week 15 where him and Pierce were both healthy and Singletary dominated the snaps, which is good because when Pierce came back the last time, they tried to give him another opportunity to win that job. We know he's not a schematic fit, but I think they were, hoping he would maybe break out a little bit, and it just didn't work. So Singletary's back in the fold, and he looks darn good doing it. So really, he's been efficient. He's been good at breaking tackles, yards after contact. He looks a lot better than he did when he was in Buffalo. I'll say that. So
Detroit at Minnesota, moving along here, the Week 16 docket, semis in the fantasy playoffs. Still a little bit of an early look here at the week, but we kind of do this obviously for the viewers and subscribers, but honestly, it's still all information gathering for me. And as we do the projections, the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. Injury wise here, what do we have here? Jacobs at corner for the Lions.
Yeah, he's very questionable. That's big because they're not deep at corner at all. Brian Branch would probably start on the outside, I would think, if he can't go.
Byron Murphy for the Vikings. He's
it's big.
Guys.
Yep, that's big. Yeah, Madison probably won't play again and with the ankle. He hasn't practiced since he got hurt. Byron Murphy's got this knee injury. That's big, man. If he can't play.
Yeah, right tackle, the starting right tackle. That's where Aiden Hutchinson often lines
up.
Neil.
Yeah, he didn't play last week either.
Oh, I thought you said, yeah, I don't know why. I heard Byron.
Byron Murphy. No, that would be huge.
Right. Well, Brett, what are your thoughts here? Minnesota, not going to be easy to run on. They're going to get some pressure on Goff. Seem to be covering well, but then again, I think they can be exploited by the right, personnel, like a Jameson Williams. Or what do you think?
Yeah, so I like JMO and I like Amon-Ra in this game. So Minnesota, almost all of the fantasy points they give up is through the slot. That is their weak point. That's typically true of most blitz-heavy teams, and it's no different for Minnesota. So they're going to give up points. Amon-Ra is going to get a lot of one-on-one looks over the middle of the field. That's where Goff absolutely thrives. As long as they can keep Goff relatively clean and have the right pass protection plans in place, I think Amon-Ra should just have a typical Amon-Ra day. JMO, on the other hand, I really like him. He's getting more involved in the offense. He's kind of won that coaching staff over. He's finally playing starter-level snaps. And, we saw the 7 targets last week. Plus, his deep ability and ability to break plays wide open, like that bodes really well against a team who blitzes the crap out of you. So, just think like a 3rd and 5 where they're sending the house at Goff, like Jameson catches a shallow and takes it 60 yards or catches a deep ball. I think there's a lot of opportunity for a guy of his style to beat the Minnesota defense. So
yeah, I can see it. They have been pretty good against tight ends too, for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Lions slowing down Ty Chandler? Not that Ty Chandler's all that, but he certainly looked great last week. He's got some pop here. He got some juice.
Yeah.
Maybe a guy off the edges, kind of a guy. Like, is that a problem for Detroit's run D? Because
no one's run on Detroit this year other than Austin Fields, and that was scrambles. So
they have no weakness even on the perimeter.
Not really.
Yeah,
very
disappointing matchup.
Yeah. Your
thoughts on the line running game here against Minnesota?
Yeah, they've definitely been stingier. Their D tackles have played really, really well. I don't think it's a bad matchup for Detroit. I think if they have their starting 5 of linemen, which it looks like they will. I know Frank didn't do anything in practice today, but that's pretty typical for a Thursday for him. So I think Detroit should be able to run the ball. I think they're going to want to run the ball because that super blitz heavy scheme for Minnesota, they're going to want to keep Goff clean and not give him any weird situations to throw from. So I think not a great matchup, not a bad matchup. Should be, I would say, just an average game for Detroit.
How do you think they handle the Viking passing game? It's Nick Mullins, but Detroit, they don't get a ton of pressure, and they might be down starting corner in Jacobs.
Jacobs didn't play last week either. He was actually benched, is what it sounds like.
Oh wow!
They moved him to special teams. They've got a kind of a committee that are replacing him right now, and I think they played relatively well. To your point, though,
Dorsey, yeah,
Khalil Dorsey and the kid from Chicago, Kendall Vindor.
Vildor's the slot corner. I can't. That's insane that they're doing that this late in the season, John. Well, see, they love Jacobs. They love Branch as nickel.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's it. I forgot about that. Yeah, Khalil Dorsey's number 30. He's a street free agent. Jeez, that's good though. That's good for Nick Mullins.
Yeah, I mean,
DC,
Jacobs is just getting destroyed all year, so they needed to make a move.
Yeah, I got you.
What happened?
Good point.
DC Commanders at the Jets. If we done here, move on.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Adam, do you worry now about Howell?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Getting pulled again?
I'm just worried about the matchup. I'm not pulled. No, it'd have to be really bad again. But they don't want to get in that business. It was embarrassing enough for them to have to do it. Well, the game was out of hand, and they needed to get him out. He struggled. Oh, the big one is Brian Robinson, John, has not practiced in over 3 weeks. Obviously, he's not going to play. Simeon will start for the Jets. And that's where that's at. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, what else here? I'm starting Garrett Wilson, and I don't care what happens. I'm sleeping like a baby. I don't know. I don't feel quite as strongly about Breece Hall. Adam, can you talk me off a ledge with Breece Hall? Do you have any words of wisdom?
I love it. I love it. What? Look, we know they have trouble moving the football downfield.
3 points last week.
No, but here's the thing. Yeah, but they got look at the matchup, John.
I don't care. I mean, can you catch some balls?
Well, okay. Again, it's Trevor Simeon, but they're gonna grind it out with them. Washington, their front's terrible. They don't squeeze the run well. This is if he's got to get a minimum of 90 yards here. Minimum.
He's had double-digit catches in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 straight games.
Okay.
Before last week, so yeah. I mean,
he's gonna have a good game. Breece Hall, like this is the week for him. Has to be.
All right. Okay.
I agree with that.
There you go. Thank you. You did exactly what I needed you to do. Way to go.
Jeez, shut up.
Hey, you talked me off a ledge. I was on the ledge. Now I'm off the ledge.
Okay.
For the DC Commandos, your boy Terry McLaurin is going to see a lot of Gardner.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard. I'm expecting bad results. And what can I tell you?
Did Logan Thomas test positive for Geritol?
Oh yeah, what is he? Yeah, boys, he just completely disappeared.
I was going to say that about Jahan Dotson. Is he even on the roster still?
Yeah, exactly. I think he's number 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Jahan Dotson is the football version of Benjamin Button. He's now an old man.
Top 15 pick, and they don't even throw him the football. Like
it's such a discombobulated offense, to be honest with you.
I mean, there must be some sort of scheme or personality conflict or both with the enemy.
No one knows what it is.
It does seem like Curtis Samuel is a thing, though, pretty much every week.
Yeah.
He's going to get his. I mean, he's getting stuff schemed to him, too. Like, it's a lot of design stuff. I mean, he's going to get his. It's just baked into the cake for him.
Yeah, and that's, for what it's worth, the best matchup there inside. And then another Gibson-Rodriguez day, I guess, Adam. So,
yep. And Gibson, and I know they got smoked, so it's a little hard to judge, but I didn't think Gibson looked all that great.
No, he didn't.
And this is an opportunity for them to give Rodriguez a little bit of a look here.
Yeah. There's no real reason to use Gibson that's compelling.
Well, look, the game was the game was really a blowout. It was 28-7, and Rodriguez piled up some carries.
Yeah. Well, I lost a prop with Gibson. It's like, dude, 24 yards, you catch 5 balls, you can't get 25 freaking yards. Yeah, let's move on. That's frustrating. Jets are frustrating. I don't know if this is a Tyler Conklin game. For once, I've won a over 2.5 catch prop on Conklin like 6 weeks in a row. I don't know if I'm going there this week. Seattle at Tennessee. Adam, it looks like Ryan Tannehill's in the mix.
Yeah, he should get the look, and then Geno is going to be back. And if you're in a 16-team league or more, and you're looking for Treylon Burks, well, Nick Westbrook at Keeney was put on IR, so he's done for the season.
Oh,
Burks is now a full-time starter. Now he's
out.
Well, he's got an illness, so hopefully you would think he'd get cleared.
Man, look at all these guys though. DMPs.
Yeah, their line is banged up. Their secondary is an absolute total mess.
Oh,
I mean, I know last week, I know it was Case Keenum and Tank Dell and I know Nico Collins, so that's why Tennessee wasn't tested. Geno will drive the football downfield. I actually like Geno a little bit in this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Brett, it is a positive schematic matchup. I think it'll be a DK game, maybe not a JSN game here. What are your thoughts on Geno?
Yeah, I love Geno in this game. Tennessee can't get after the quarterback. Their secondary's banged up. DK should have, plenty of opportunity to get loose downfield. Tennessee also they play a lot of cushion on the outside, especially to the field side. So I know that's getting into the weeds a little bit with the nerds, but what that means, DK is going to have a lot of built-in yards there, right? So they're when he sees that cushion, they almost automatically audible to like a curl or an out route, and they just take what they give them. So I think that should be a huge win for DK all day. DK
like an in-breaker against that zone.
Yep.
And I kind of like D-Hop as well in this game. They play a lot of zone.
Yeah, let's see.
It is a positive schematic matchup. I already have it down here in my notes.
Seattle secondary is puzzling because sometimes they look amazing, and I'm really, really impressed with them. So I don't know. It is a positive schematic matchup. Just not sure what the quarterback shuffling and what that's going to look like for Hopkins. But
I mean, I feel like Tannehill, Adam, could be an upgrade over Levis. Levis is driving the ball and making some great throws.
Well, that's my point. He's got accuracy issues, but he's definitely willing to take chances. And Burks, they really want to unleash Burks. This has been a nightmare coming off of a couple injuries, but this is kind of what they've been waiting for Burks. I hope he can get himself together here.
Yeah. Another good schematic matchup for Chiggy. And look, they may be playing from behind too. If we like Seattle so much, I mean, I'll take my chances with D-Hop with either Tannehill or Levis throwing on every down in the fourth quarter. Rack up, 6-7 grabs. Derrick Henry, Mr. C. I take it there's no word out of Tennessee or no rumblings even about pulling back from him.
No.
Yeah. Nobody knows that is going.
That's just not. They're married, still married to him. Now, obviously, if he struggles again,
right,
they could feature Spears. I mean, look, they already eliminated from the playoffs, and this could be. I mean, it was an interesting situation because the game was very tight, and they try to get Henry going. It was an absolute disaster. You average 0.6 yards per carry, but they're going to reset it, and they're not going. The thing is, they know Tannehill doesn't move like he used to. They're not going to ask Tannehill to throw the ball 40 times. It's still going to go through Henry. It's still going to go through.
Okay, yeah. I will say this: our guy Adam Schefter ran a lineup question by me today, and one of them was Tajay Spears, so he's considering him. But if he knew that Derrick Henry was going to get phased out, he wouldn't even ask me the question. I'll tell you that. The other guy was Jake Ferguson, by the way, who I really like this week. I said I'd probably go Ferguson.
John, real quick on Henry. Seattle's run defense has probably been the worst in the league the last month.
That is true.
It's been really bad since they traded for Leonard Williams. They've given up over 140 yards rushing in 5 consecutive games, 180 twice. So,
Totally. What are you thinking? One last hurrah?
it's December, baby. Let's
He does have the Jags at home in the finale, so it's not his last home game.
That'd be a really good last hurrah, considering some of the classical games he's had against them.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to Jacksonville at Tampa. What are the injuries here?
Campbell's still limited.
Lawrence.
Lawrence. It doesn't look good for him. The ankle's not the issue. He's in the protocol. He hasn't done anything yet. So it's looking more like it's going to be CJ Beathard. And by the way, the Beathard injury to his shoulder, which he's had for several weeks, is to his non-throwing shoulder. Zay Jones probably will not play. It's a new injury. It's the hamstring. That's why he couldn't finish the game. So that's obviously not good. And then Tyson Campbell, this is a big one for Baker. He's still limited.
So is it fair to say if you were concussed the week before and through Thursday you're still a DNP, like you're out? Because
it's really hard if you miss 5 straight practices. It's really hard to get cleared
because like you got to clear like at least 1 or 2 hurdles just to practice.
Right. You see, John, there's 6 steps to it, and you got to be able to the point where you could at least be limited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it would be tough.
I've sat in on 3 hours with a concussion calls with the NFL recently, the last 3-4 years. I think that's the only thing I got out of it right there. what I said. Only thing I remembered. Let's see here. Well, injury or matchup wise, pretty good schematic matchup for Baker. You mentioned the Campbell thing. I like Big Mike. I don't see how we cannot like Godwin. And how about our guy, Rachaad White? Since week 9, I heard today, he is second in the NFL in scrimmage yards behind McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's just look, I'll put it this way with Rachaad White. He's way better than I expected. And I was super high on him. I tried drafting in every league I was in. But
I think it's exactly what I expected.
No. You let me finish. He got off to a terrible he looked really bad. Yeah. Awful. And I was like, man, I can't believe I'm going to be wrong on this.
Yeah.
So for people who want to know, I actually tried to trade him in the ACI, which I'm in now the semifinals. No one would take him. John,
you didn't offer me.
This is how down I was. I literally was willing to give him up for like a below average starter.
Yeah.
It looked so bad.
It looked bad.
But Dave Canales, to his credit, stuck with him. And the Sean Tucker experience never worked anyway. They didn't have a choice. And honestly, it all goes through him, John. It really does.
Of course. Man, so dangerous in the open field here.
Yeah.
What a buzzkill, though, with the Lawrence thing, because, man, Brett, I really like Calvin Ridley here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to be CJ Beathard. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if Trevor goes, then I like the matchup. Tampa Bay has been definitely, you can throw on them all day. But yeah, it's hard to really comment with Beathard there. So
what is Jamal Agnew's role going forward? I mean, he's a slot guy, but Washington's a slot guy. Do they interchange those guys, Adam? Any one of you guys? They
did interchange them. It seemed like for design touches, Parker Washington was getting some of those with Agnew, and then when they got down in the red zone, it was Parker Washington. Yeah. Between the 20s, though, they played Agnew quite a bit. So
it's interesting because he barely played. He only played 10 snaps on offense, and he played a decent amount on special teams. They love that this kid Cooks. He's a big undrafted free agent, like I think Elijah Cooks is his name. He played 14. He's just a big guy.
Converted tight end.
What's that?
That's the
Yeah.
guy.
But right now, John, with Jones highly unlikely to play, you're going to see that Tim Jones. Tim Jones is their shot play guy from a couple years ago. It's going to go. The passing game is Ridley and Ingram right now. That's really what it's going to be.
All right. Well, yeah, exactly. And a pretty good matchup there for Ingram. And I think
Vita Vea should play, come back from his toe injury. He's missed the last 2 games, and Carlton Davis should get cleared. So that's where Tampa's defensive injuries are.
Arizona at Chicago. Brett, how bad is this offense right now, and how bad is Kyler Murray playing, or is it simply a function of they literally have no wide receivers?
It's definitely somewhat to do with the wide receivers. Kyler looks a little more, I would say, less willing to extend plays with his feet than he had in the past. First game, I was really impressed. He was really disciplined, got the ball quickly, played within structure. Now it's almost coming at a detriment, though. So when he is using those legs, it just seems untimely. There's a big disconnect. I think not having the receivers is a big thing. And look, their offensive line's actually playing really well too. I think the last 5 weeks they're one of the best, if not maybe second best team in pass protection.
I don't know how they're doing it.
Right, pressure rate allowed. It is puzzling, but it's a really, really nice coaching job there. So
It is.
With that said, though, it's kind of weird that they can't get it going because they are, they're protecting their quarterback. Usually, that's all you need.
Yeah, and they're not. It's not like they're not running the ball. They're having periodic success. I don't really have any thoughts here. It's not the best matchup. I mean, I'd use Murray in a pinch certainly, but I'd like to not use him. And Adam, we can't use Holloway Brown at all. Like, forget it.
No, he's okay. So it's the same heel injury he's had for 5 weeks. He pulled himself out of the game, didn't return. He hasn't done anything this week. Greg Dortch, who people probably in deeper leagues were probably looking at, he's got a shoulder injury, hasn't done anything. Oh, this could be bad. I'm praying he's fine, but I won't know till tomorrow. Cole Kmet got added with a quadriceps injury. Didn't take all his reps today, but he has a history of playing through injury, so we'll learn more tomorrow. But that popped up. He was an ad today.
Brett, not the greatest schematic matchup for Fields, and potentially without his boy Kmet, and not technically the greatest for Moore, but I mean just matchup, player on player, offense on defense. Like, the Cardinal defense stinks. So, what do you think of Fields this week?
Yeah, I actually like Fields this week. Cardinals, they can't rush the passer. They suck against mobile quarterbacks. Fields should have all day. The designed QB run stuff too has plagued them all year. I think this is probably a slam dunk spot for Fields. Now, who joins him with that party? I'm not entirely sure. I said on the show yesterday, on the Series show, that I like Donta Foreman this week quite a bit.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Totally. Arizona's really struggled with that inside physical run game. So I think that could be just a huge edge for Chicago.
And this could be a huge edge for people. And granted, you got to take on some volatility here, and I've been wrong before, but I've also been right before a lot. And I that's a good way to say it. I've been wrong before, but I've been right before. I'm really kind of feeling like a $125 1-2 touchdown game, Brett, for Deontay.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean,
why
Arizona's run defense.
Well, here's why not. Roshan gets it and does well.
He only plays in negative game scripts though, and I don't see Arizona getting a lead where it's like so insurmountable. Chicago feels the need to have Roshan in there.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. These roles it has been fluid in my mind, but maybe a little solidified now.
Yeah, Roshan, really, if you really go look at it, he's really only played in games they were trailing, or the one caveat is blitz-heavy teams where they need him in pass protection because he's so good at pass protection. I don't see Arizona presenting that as a problem.
Okay. And certainly we're using our beloved Trey McBride against anyone. We love that guy. Great dude, great story. Dallas Cowboys at the Miami Dolphins. Injury wise here, Tyreek,
he worked today limited. They won't know till after tomorrow's practice. I want to see how he reacts. Tyron Smith's back acted up. That's not good for Dak. And I know Miami's got all sorts of injuries on defense, but they brought it last week against the Jets, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I've got Miami's D, and I don't know what to do. I'm going to start them because
I cut them. I mean, they were awesome for me, but I couldn't do it this week.
Yeah. Well, pending a waiver wire move, my alternative is Detroit, and they don't do crap,
Yeah.
How about that Tony Pollard story today? How about that? He said He hasn't felt normal till like a month ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting.
Coming off that leg injury.
Yeah, well, he looked okay in training camp, but okay. But
he thought he was back.
Yeah.
But
Well, so
now
did a lot of people.
He wasn't, because he
Yeah.
said he's feeling a lot better.
Maybe that's why he didn't look good this season.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I guess that's about it injury wise. There are a ton of dudes here though. Like, we're not worried about Mostert, Achan. Are you worried about Mostert or Achan now?
No.
Okay.
No.
How about the O-line stuff though?
No, it's banged up. Armstead, they don't know if he's
Hunt, Jackson.
Yeah, Hunt's out. He's not playing. He's been out for a while.
Everybody. The whole line's hurt.
Yeah, Jackson should play with the quadriceps. Armstead, they never know. It looks better this week than he has in recent weeks, but he's been a train wreck with injuries. And yeah, Dallas has got to be motivated. Now, what happened last week? Apparently, they had 10 to 12 players limited last week with illnesses, with the flu, whatever was going around in their building. Yeah. And it really screwed them up practice-wise, and that was a big reason why they were terrible. Now, Dallas's run defense, Hankins is probably out again. They're not a good run D. Like, you could run on them.
Last week.
Yeah, you could run on them. I know some weeks they look better, but you could run on these guys.
And it's critical for Miami to run it, Brett. As good as Tua has been at times this year, man. You sack him and pressure him, you take away that first read, all that, you cloud it up for him. Not good. But I do like this matchup here for him and Tyreek. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. Dallas has given up some stuff to the outside corner or outside receivers. When they play teams that can protect, it's been good. Miami has the O-line injuries, but if they get a good, 5 out there, it might be all right. Running the ball, though, to your point, it's going to be super important. Dallas's run defense sucks. It was bad all last year. It's bad this year. They really don't even care. It's not even really something. I mean, they're starting like Ogiz. I can't even pronounce his name.
Also, Digizua. Yeah,
he's like a 280-pound, 3 technique. He's a wrestler. He's a strong kid, but he's more of a pass rusher. Let's face it. So, not really, fitting the run very well. Their linebackers are also really bad. So they're playing like they have a safety that's basically playing full-time linebacker for them now. He's just small. He gets picked off by guards coming to the second level all the time. They really can't defend the run. So,
John, both of their off-the-ball linebackers are smaller. Yeah, Brett's right. This is a team you could run on. It starts with a run anyway with Miami. So, yeah, start your Dolphin guys.
Is Leighton Vander Esch done for the year?
Oh, yeah, he's on IR. Neck.
I really do like the matchup for Ferguson for what it's worth. Good one schematically. Miami's giving up numbers. Brett, do you think they'll travel Garrett or Jalen Ramsey a little bit as they did against Garrett Wilson last week on Lamb?
I don't. I think Lamb plays too much in the slot for that to really matter.
Yeah.
I like all of Dallas's pass catchers for what it's worth, just because I think Dallas is going to have to throw the ball in this game to compete. They pass protect really well too. So see, Dallas's pressure rate allowed the last 5 weeks is less than 30%. Their O-line's been excellent. So and you can't run against Miami either. That's been proven over the course of the year. So I really do like the Dallas pass catchers just because of the volume they'll get. Miami does play a lot of zone defense where cornerbacks are just reading, reacting, pattern matching, stuff like that. So I think CD could work the middle of the field pretty well there. I'm pretty confident both him and Ferguson.
Well, you get them on those crossers in the leg.
Yeah.
You like run away from them, kind of.
Dallas likes to get meshy. They run a lot of mesh, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, great. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. I bet you they find a way to get Ramsey on Lamb most of the time he's outside, kind of, maybe, or a little bit more. But yeah, of course, the other guy's Xavier Howard, who's still also good. We can move on to New England at Denver, and this won't take long. Adam, it does look like Hunter Henry has a chance, though.
Yeah. Also, forget about Stevenson. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
Yeah.
He's in practice since he got hurt. Well, Henry didn't work today.
I thought he did. No?
No, he did not.
Oh, okay. Well, then we're not.
No. Now, there's been no reporting on this that he's out this week. So maybe, if he could be at least limited tomorrow, he has a chance. But if he doesn't practice, forget it. Denver, forget about Dulcich this season. It's not going to happen. And P. Ryan has had this lingering knee problem, but he's off the injury report with it. That's pretty much it for both teams with injuries.
So you're not. I'm kind of feeling Zeke here a little bit. I know he got stymied a little bit last week, but Denver's been bad against the run.
Yeah, that's true.
Brett, any thoughts on anything jump out at you? Like Adam asked me, it was a good question. Basically, is Cortland Sutton good enough for Belichick to try and take him out?
I think he certainly is. I mean,
yeah,
he's been a monster this year, and I don't think Denver will be able to run the ball either. So it makes it even easier on Bill to do that. So, yeah, I think
that could make it a Judy game. I hate to say it.
It could make it a Judy game. If I have to count on it, though, I'm probably not too excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do still play a lot of man, and we do like Judy against man. He's had a couple near miss big plays lately too. Actually, he had a touchdown taken off the board, I think the week before last, but just throwing it out there.
He started the game last week with a 40-yard catch, and I don't think he could squat after that. So.
Of course, those with Judy, they've probably already been eliminated by now.
It's true.
So, and then I will say one thing. The one thing I think about Javonte is he could get some serious volume in this one. Right, Adam?
Oh yeah, because this is a quagmire, low-scoring game. Probably going to be some turnovers. The back should dominate the rushes. The thing you're always concerned about with New England is can they even move the ball? But I would agree with your assessment, though, on Zeke. At least they should feature him because they have nothing else.
Yeah. Although Kevin Harris had a nice little run last week, 18-yarder.
Parker's off the injury report. Not that you should be using him. He's so frustrating. But this is an ugly game in Denver. Ooh, ugly.
Raiders at Chiefs. Good schematic matchup for O'Connell. I like Devontae. I know we'll see L'Jarius Sneed. I don't really care. I'll take my chances with Devontae against man. Good schematic matchup for Myers. I mean, Brett, might Aiden O'Connell stay hot in this one? There's a lot of data points that look pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the matchup relatively speaking, I like the matchup. I like Adams against man, like you said. The volume should absolutely be there. Kansas City, their pressure rate has been all over the place this season. When they play bad O-lines, shockingly, that number goes through the roof. Spags really has to dial it up, though. And so when you're going to commit a bunch of bodies to the pass rush, I like the ability for Devontae Adams to win those one-on-ones every time, whether it's L'Jarius Sneed or whoever. So, I like that a lot.
Adam, Antonio Pierce certainly indicated early in the week that Jacobs was going to go, but he
didn't work. Yeah, he didn't work today, so we'll see. They don't play till Monday. They practice Friday and Saturday. It's a quadriceps injury. Trey Tucker actually played more than Renfro in the last game, and they're going to continue to take a look at him. His biggest issue is his hands. The receiver coaches I talked to love his explosiveness, but the hands are really questionable. And apparently this was a problem for him in training camp. That's why he didn't get a lot of time early on. But he should continue to be a flash player here, playmaker. And by the way, in the first matchup, Myers did very well. In the matchup in week 12 where they got off to the quick start, they were up 14-0. Then, of course, they lost. But Myers led them. Adams made some big plays.
You starting him?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Rashee Rice for the win.
Let's go.
Pretty good schematic match for
Rice.
Kelsey.
Killed him in the first matchup. Killed him.
We do get Pacheco back, Adam.
Yep.
Brett, does the futility continue for Mahomes? Not a bad game last week. I think this one will be similar. I actually said last week I thought he would get 250/2. I think he got that, but he turned the ball over twice. But what do you think about Mahomes here?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, Raiders defense isn't great. They've got it's not bad. It's not bad either, but it's not great. They have very small corners. I think, the physicality the Chiefs wide receivers play with, whether it's Watson or MVS, bodes well for Mahomes. I really like Rashee in this matchup. As Adam said, he annihilated them the first game. The last 5 weeks, he's got 39% of his targets are design throws, which is leads the NFL. His threat rate is 33% over that time as well, which is insane.
What's threat rate? What does that mean?
Basically targets per route run. It's just it's got a few variables removed from it, but
Okay.
So he's top 7 in the league in threat rate, which is really, really nice. So
does he replace Kelsey at all for like at times is like that big body in the middle of the field? He kind of seems to me like he's kind of replaced Kelsey in some snaps.
I wouldn't say replace is the right word. He has a higher target share than Kelsey right now, but against zone, like Kelsey gets an extra body every time as the team plays zone. So Rashid just has to win a one-on-one, which makes it easier. So it's not that he's replaced Kelsey, but Mahomes is taking the easier matchup there for sure. Also, I don't want to victory lap too hard here, John, but I was the only guy in the entire draft community that had a mock draft with Rashee Rice going in the first round last year. I just had to throw that out.
Nice.
Yeah, you were. And by the way, it's not like he's like this great athlete or anything. Like, although he's
good athlete,
he looked faster than I thought after the catch.
His rack is what it's about. His ability with the ball in his hands, it's pretty damn good.
Debo-like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's. There were questions about how explosive he was, but I don't think it matters because he's so physical.
Yeah,
and he knows where to go. That's a coaching term. He knows exactly where to go with the ball. He runs the daylight really well.
A guy like Devontae Adams was not like a quick twitch, speedy guy.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's it for that game. I don't think we need to spend any more time on anything there. Giants at Eagles. Adam, I do kind of feel like Tommy Cutlets is going to get, the Eagles are going to be a little pissed here. Man, the Giants do have some injuries, though.
A couple things, though. Again, we don't have access to the Eagles' game plan. They only blitzed twice, which is absurd against Drew locked feet. I don't know why they didn't blitz. That was stupid.
Matt Patricia, man.
I get it, but I know they're a coverage-based dime defense. This is what they do. They try to muddy looks. That's the New England defense. Mm-hmm. But, man, when you got Drew Lock, and that Lock was terrible for 3.5 quarters, but, geez, that was bad. Waller came out of the game okay with his hamstring, so he's good to go. Paris Campbell's out of the rotation. Not surprised. He's been on the downward spiral because you see what you kind of see what they've done with the rotation
and Wandale.
Yeah, Wandale's their 2. Well, again, it's Slayton. It's a committee. It's Slayton. It's Wandale now is heavily involved. Yeah, and Hayes is their 3. And Hodgins is, again, they've kind of demoted him. But Waller being back now, this is his second week. His role should be better. Eagles are not good against tight ends, so he should do well.
Yeah. What about Wandale? Who did Philly get back at corner today?
Oh, Devontae Maddox is their slot corner. He should be back.
Oh, yeah. Is he back?
Well, he started practicing. He should be. He's got a chance to be cleared. No doubt.
Wow. So that would be great for Wandale.
Yeah. I mean, he's very fast, but again, he hasn't played 3 months. Oh, Darius Slay is out again with his knee surgery. So.
Yeah. I don't know if they have anyone to take advantage, but okay. I don't know what to do with Barkley, and I'm.
Eagles' run D, John, has been leaking. He's had some good games. It was the best run defense for the first half of the season. They were historically dominant. Not anymore.
What do you think, Brett? Go right back to the well with Barkley. Man, Adam brings up a good point. He has had some good games against them, but last week was pretty bad. But
yeah, the Eagles have been just really bad against the run. It's shocking, actually, with how much talent they have in that D line that they could be so bad against the run. And Patricia won't help that either because Patricia doesn't know what he's doing. But yeah, I like Barkley a lot. I really do. The check down thing too. One thing that's helping Barkley a lot since DeVito took over is DeVito's surprisingly athletic. Yeah. They're tag and read option on like most of these runs, and it's really helping because they're putting one of those defenders in conflict. And
what they did with Danny Dimes all year.
It is Dimes it wasn't really working as well. So
I'm talking last year.
Oh yeah, exactly. Last year it did work really well. So I really like it. I like what I've seen with the run game since DeVito took over. So I
All right.
good spot for Barkley.
Okay. I guess I just got freaked out about last week, and yeah. All right. And then for Philly, they play a lot of man. I mean, it's a moot point to really break down Jalen Hurts, Adam, because the tush push is the cheat code of the cheat code. I mean, the guy, he's got problems after problems, but he's
not playing well, John. He's really struggling.
Yeah, doesn't matter though.
Yeah, well, look, he's still he has an outside chance now to get 40 combined touchdowns, which is a joke considering how poorly he's playing. He's missing wide open pass targets. He's looking down. Brett's been talking about this. The tape's bad.
It's scheme related too. The scheme's not great.
Yeah, I know you're not the only one who's got a problem with the scheme. I'll leave it at that.
And Philly Eagle media fan base.
Yeah, look, it's a struggle bus, but you're playing. Oh, by the way, here's the question, John. Where are you ranking Boston Scott?
Oh, right.
He's hit that prop like a ton of times in a row.
Oh, Scott Boston because of the Giant matchup.
Yeah, it's insane.
I am not ranking a guy just because he has.
Okay. Anyway,
yeah.
It doesn't get easier for Hurts either, John. Like Wink Martindale defense, they are very exotic on the back end. They are disguising coverages like crazy. Hurts isn't seeing basic coverage looks right now. This Giants defense is going to give him a nightmare trying to figure out what's going on. I do like A.J. Brown and some of the one-on-ones he'll get because of the man coverage, but the way they're rotating safeties and dropping slot corners out back, like it's going to confuse Hurts a little bit. I'm telling you. So
could make him run though.
It could make him run. Is he healthy enough to do that at a high level? I'm not really sure. He looked pretty good this last game actually. Running.
Yeah, he had like 11 totes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we can spend 24 hours breaking down, every aspect of the game, but at the end of the day, dude's going to run 12 times, score 2 touchdowns on the ground.
It's true.
It's ridiculous. Is Goddard Adam? Is Goddard
they don't know what they're doing with him, John. They're just it's what when you asked me the last time when you heard me, you were surprised I was down on him. The scheme is not great. He should be featured way more because he's a cover 3, cover 4 beater.
Yes,
that's what he is, and they don't get it. This has been a horrific regression, not only for Hurts as a passer, but the scheme. See, Sirianni had it easy last year. Now he doesn't, and he doesn't have Act 2. They're not going to be able to correct this till the offseason. Yeah. I'd expect this to continue, John. To be honest, I don't see this as being a breakout game, and Wink's going to bring it. Now Hurts was good against the blitz last year, but not so much this year.
I mean, I will say, the Giants are the worst team against tight ends in fantasy, inline tight ends specifically, and Goddard plays almost all of his snaps inline. So, that's the one thing he's got going this week. But they really, Hurts is just not even looking at him right now. So
it's bad.
That's a problem too. Let's move on to the next game, which is the last game, and it's the Ravens and the Niners. Not the best schematic matchup here on either side, I don't think. Brett, we all know that, it's a tougher matchup for both offenses here.
Yeah.
Debo maybe against zone. I think the Niners will try and run the ball, of course. Ravens, not an impenetrable wall. Brett, what stands out to you as the biggest matchup to exploit or avoid in this game?
Early potential Super Bowl matchup here. So I'm really excited to watch this game. The one thing I would say, and I've been hammering this home on this show probably since the Vikings played the 49ers, however long ago that was.
Yep.
You can pass protect against the 49ers, or when you have a quarterback that can buy time against them, that secondary can get annihilated.
Yeah.
I think that's the edge for Baltimore in this game is Lamar Jackson's feet making plays. Also, their offensive line's pretty good, so they can pass protect. I know they give up the most pressure in the NFL, but that's mostly because Lamar is holding the ball over 3 seconds in drop back, which is a whole other story. But he can make things happen with his legs if the protection breaks down, plus the O-line can protect. I think it's a really good combo. I think, Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers, these guys should have decent days. Isaiah Likely, really like that.
Definitely like that.
Yeah, in the 49ers, their linebackers, Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, they remind me of Texas Hold'em players. When they're running hot, they play with such instinct, and it's almost like they're guessing and everything. When they're running hot, those guys are unbeatable. But when they're running cold, it gets real messy real fast, and they're running cold right now. I think Warner and Greenlaw have both looked really bad the last game or two. So,
yeah, Adam is man. Should we keep an eye on Bateman? I mean, he did look kind of good last week.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It looks explosive. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It looks
Good. That's
I thought
great.
he did. Yeah,
Good.
I thought he did.
He was our guy from the beginning, but he's been such a train wreck with injury. But OBJ should play. He's got an illness. Zay Flowers is expected to play with a foot injury. The Niners D-line's banged up. Armstead probably will be out again. Hargrave probably won't play with his hamstring injury.
That
Juwan
helps.
Jennings doesn't get the ball as their 3 much, but he's got a concussion. Burford, this is good, though, for the offensive line. Burford should be back. Spencer Burford, one of their starting guards with a knee injury. He's missed a couple games. Oh, Elijah Mitchell, that's why Mason's getting the ball. He probably won't play. He's been out for a while with a knee injury. Another knee injury for this guy. Gosh.
Yep, I have McCaffrey in that Superflex Dynasty, a 2-week playoff.
Yep.
I picked up Mason this week over Mitchell as a handcuff just for like next week. For what it's worth.
Okay.
Yeah. Will we see Mel Gordon?
Yes, as the 3. Yes.
I mean, I would think he might have a chance to carve out a little bit of a role here.
It's little because it's Gus is the closer. Gus will be their main guy. You got Hill as a changeup, and Melvin is the 3. They do play 3 backs, but it's quite different without Mitchell, who's the changeup explosive guy.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. 1 hour and 11 minutes, not too
Nice
shabby. We thank our guy Tommy T on the other side of the glass. We'll be hearing a lot from Thomas going forward here at fantasypoints.com. And for Adam Caplan and Brett Whitefield, good luck in week 16. And stay tuned to the other live streams here, all the content all weekend long here. Happy holidays as well. Signing off, and we'll catch you next week. Not next year, but almost. Good luck in week 16. We will catch you next week.